Good morning. We got a little Panda Express going on. All right, Amazon. Play the flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing.
All right.
In NPR
You
News.
know, I do feel briefly flash. Is that it?
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Germany has agreed to send its sophisticated Leopard battle tanks to Ukraine. They'll be used against Russian forces who continue to invade
they'll
the
be
country.
saved by the
NPR's
Nazis that are
Rob
there.
Schmitz says other
And
countries,
reused at a
such
later
as Poland,
date.
also want to send tanks to Ukraine.
Over the following weeks, we'll likely see the first deliveries of what could be dozens of the world's most state-of-the-art tanks being handed over to Ukraine's military. And these
right.
tanks are
Hand it
seen
over
by
to the
military
Nazis.
experts as
Just hand
game-changing
it over.
weapons that will help Ukraine defend itself against what many predict could be a tough spring offensive that Russia's
Not for the
mounting.
kids. Don't let
NPR's
them
Rob
kid you.
Schmitz
It's for
reporting the U.S. is said to be
hopefully they
leaning
get a
towards
rising
sending some
up
Abrams
so
tanks
that
to
they have a
Ukraine as
constant
well.
war
The White House says
with
President
the
Biden will
Nazis
give remarks
because
in
they
about
make
2
money
hours.
off of war.
We'll talk about U.S.
Freaking
support for
war-mongering
Ukraine.
punks.
Vice President Harris is heading to California in the wake of 2 mass shootings. Both
We know the
involve the
truth.
state's Asian American and migrant communities. As NPR's Tamara Keith reports, President Biden is calling for congressional action.
Harris, who was a California senator before becoming vice president, will offer support to the communities affected. Biden announced she would be making the trip during a meeting with top Democratic congressional leaders. He pointed out that Senator Dianne Feinstein, also from California, had reintroduced her bill to ban assault
Get rid of all
weapons.
these crooked people and get some good ones up in there.
Asking you all to send that to my desk as quickly as you
Whole
can.
administration,
It's really needed.
whole Congress,
Congress
everything.
last
Let's just
passed an
start
assault
over.
weapons ban in
No
the
big government.
mid-1990s, but it expired a
To each their
decade
own
later
state.
and hasn't been
Right.
renewed, despite a series of devastating mass shootings involving guns that would have been banned. Tamara Keith, NPR News, the White House.
Tornadoes
They
touched
would
down
have
on the
been
Gulf
banned,
Coast
and then
yesterday,
you know what?
including
There'd
one
have
that
been mass
blazed
shootings
east of
with
Houston.
other
There were
weapons.
reports of serious injuries.
If you get
That
rid
same
of
storm
guns, what they
system
gonna
is still
use?
plowing east.
Massive
The
knife
site
swords. I don't know,
poweroutage.us
man. They'll figure
says
it
more
out.
than
They'll probably make
100,000
bombs.
customers
They'll
are
make
without electricity in
You know
Arkansas.
how they be.
Stocks opened lower this
Banning
morning
the
after
weapon ain't gonna
downbeat
solve the
earnings
problem.
reports from Microsoft and Boeing. NPR's Scott Horsley
Yeah.
reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell more than 320 points in early trading.
Microsoft warned of slower growth in its cloud computing business this quarter. At the same time, demand for consumer software is slumping. Microsoft was also hit by news of a networking problem that temporarily affected users of its Teams and Outlook services. Stock in Boeing lost altitude after the company reported a net loss of $5 billion last year. Boeing saw an uptick in
Down the
commercial
drain,
jet
down
deliveries,
the
but
hole.
its defense business has been struggling. Nearly 2,000
defense
Amazon
business, you
warehouse
know what?
workers in the
That's
UK
'cause
are
they
on
got
strike.
contract with other
Workers
people
are
like
demanding better
NASA's
pay
defense.
and working conditions.
Right?
Asian stocks were mostly higher today, outside of China, where markets remain closed for the Lunar New Year. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow is now down about 1%. You're listening to NPR News from Washington.
Boeing ain't making much defense airplanes.
Treasury
are they?
Secretary Janet Yellen is in South Africa for meetings today. NPR's Emmanuel Akinwotu says this reflects an adjustment in U.S. policy.
All of this is part of a major reset by US officials. You know, the Africa Leaders Summit in DC last month was key. The summit was actually light on policy and focused more on bridge building and reinvigorating those ties. And these visits are an extension of that. There are also plans for President Biden and Vice President Harris to visit this year.
NPR's
Oh, they
Emmanuel
just went on
Akinwotu
vacation. That's all
reporting
that
from
was
Lagos,
about.
Nigeria. The government of Malawi is appealing for more than 7 million doses of cholera vaccine. Ish Mafundikwa reports
Maybe a
more
couple
than
business
1,000
deals that
people
help
have
them
died
out.
there of the disease.
Stuff like
Last
that.
month, the WHO said because of a surge in cholera in some 30 countries, its vaccine stockpile was, quote, currently empty or extremely low. The shortage has forced the UN agency to temporarily suspend the administration of the standard 2 doses, replacing them with a single dose. Malawi has received more than 6 million cholera vaccine
all
doses
strategic so they
since
can
the
throw the
outbreak was
experimental stuff
declared
in there,
last
I mean.
March. Cholera, an
It's
acute
test
diarrheal
subjects.
disease caused by the ingestion of contaminated water or food, is endemic in Malawi. It is driven by a lack of safe drinking water and inadequate sanitation. For NPR
if you
News,
could
I
fix
am
that,
Bishma Fundikwa
you wouldn't have
in
no
Harare.
problem.
Again, on Wall Street, the Dow is now down about
Healthy drinking water,
290
solve
points. The
so much of
Nasdaq
it
is down
instead of they want to inject you
234
with
points.
experimental drugs.
This is NPR.
This message comes from NPR sponsor KeyBank. As industry leaders in sustainable finance, their experts can help your business implement greener practices and become more future-proof. Learn more at key.com/sustainability.
and weather. Right now in Seattle, it's 44 degrees Fahrenheit with showers. Throughout the day, you can expect more of the same, with a high of 47 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. From NASA. NASA announced Thursday its new Mars Sample Receiving Project office, responsible for receiving and curating the first samples returned from the Red Planet, will be located at the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston. The safe and rapid release of Mars samples after they return to Earth to laboratories worldwide for science investigations will. Students from the Boys and Girls Club of the Flathead Reservation in Lake County in Ronan, Montana, will have an opportunity this week to hear from a NASA astronaut aboard the International Space Station. The Space to Earth call will air live at 12 p.m. EST on Wednesday, January 25th on NASA television, the NASA app, and the agency's website. The agency will honor members of the NASA family who lost their lives while furthering the cause of exploration and discovery, including the crews of Apollo 1 and Space Shuttle's Challenger in Columbia, leading up to and during the agency's annual Day of Remembrance Thursday, January 26th. This year's NASA Day of Remembrance precedes the 20th anniversary.
Better off, man.
NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, Deputy Administrator Pam Melroy, Bobby Lal, Associate Administrator for Technology, Policy and Strategy, as well as other agency speakers, will participate in the 2023 American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, AIAA, SciTech Forum from Monday, January 23rd to Friday, January 27th in National Harbor, Maryland. That's all for your flash briefing.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about the defense project now that NASA's doing, huh? No. Launching nuclear rockets. Yeah. All right, well, Amazon, tell us a joke.
Okay, I'll give you a bird pun, but it might be tough to swallow.
It will be a burden. Huh. Okay, well, that wasn't that funny. All right, peace out. Have a wonderful, beautiful day wherever you are. Stay healthy. Clean water, good nutrition, I hope. Peace, love, prosperity. Get over there. Prosperity. There it is.